What's up, everybody? How are you all today? And welcome to another episode of... This is going to be a short episode of Phenomenal Views. For those who have seen my newest preview of What's in the Box, or for those who haven't, this is going to contain spoilers. I decided I was going to go to Walmart and buy X-Men Days of Future Past Rogue Cut. And so I figured after I would watch it, I would make my review of it. And what this basically is this has a little bit of extra content in it that actually covers up a lot of plot holes. But basically, it's the same movie. It does have a couple things in it that are added to the film. For example, I'm gonna go into this. So for those who don't want to know what is on this disc, this is gonna contain spoilers. So basically, this shows us a different... It's not a different ending, but a part of me was thinking, oh, come on, am I going to get a different ending? And we didn't get a different ending. But, okay, so in this movie basically fits... This part of the movie fits in a lot of the plot holes. For example, when Wolverine starts freaking out and he cuts Kitty, she's bleeding. And in that scene, like, where Bobby is like, we got to do something for her. She can't keep going. And Magneto's like, Bobby, we don't have a choice. And he's like, but what if we knew somebody? And Professor Xavier's like, I've scanned the planet. I can't find anyone like that. And he's like, what about Rogue? And he's like, I have looked and I can't find her. And he's like, that's because they're hiding her in one specific place where your brain can't go. They showed that they were hiding Rogue in the mansion inside Cerebro. And so they actually venture forth to go get Rogue. And, when they do bring her back, she absorbs Kitty's powers and she takes her place while Kitty rests up. Now, for a lot of other questions that people may be wondering is, well, how did the Sentinels find them? Well, when Charles and them are fleeing... when they're going to get Rogue, and when they're leaving, they're attacked by a Sentinel. Charles does something on the jet that cuts the Sentinel's arm off, and the Sentinel's arm tracks them and sends a distress signal out to other Sentinels, and that's how they find them. Other plot holes, they explain how come... for anyone who asked, how was it that they didn't use Cerebro to find Mystique? How they didn't find Mystique at Washington, and that's because she actually came to the mansion after the whole entire thing, like where Charles is like, we can change all this. You just got to come home, and she does go to the mansion and she spends some one-on-one time with Beast. And they do have a very good moment together, whereas we see how both of them have... Mystique has changed thanks to Eric because of his whole, be proud of who you are. And Hank kind of is proud of who he is. But at the same time, he still prefers to stay in human form. And when him and Mystique get close together, she still asks, are you still afraid to be your true self? And he basically feels like he won't be able to control himself if he's in his beast form. And so they do have one final touching moment. And before Hank leaves, because he says, you should get some sleep for tomorrow. And she's like, do you remember what the last thing I said to you was? And he's like, yes, it was mutant and proud. So they still established that line, and that was actually a very good point in X-Men First Class, was, of being proud of that you're a mutant. Don't be ashamed just because a lot of other people are ashamed. And so what happens is she goes to Cerebro and smashes the helmet, which would actually explain why they had to redesign the helmet and why it looks the way it does in the very first film. So I thought that was pretty unique. There are some things that they don't change. They do not change the fact that Bishop dies, but now someone told me that or actually no, I think I watched it on Spoonie and his girlfriend April's review, and I think she said that, you know, I don't know if it's true or not, but I think she said that Bishop can just keep absorbing power. The more power he absorbs, the stronger he gets, and instead in this movie they have him basically overload and explode. They do show a Scarlet Witch in this version. What they do is they show when they're all going to go find Peter, you know, Quicksilver. She says, she comes across Wolverine and she's like, I'm a princess, what are you? And he takes off his glasses and he's like, I'm the Wolverine. And then the mom's like, go annoy your sister. But she annoys me. And it was pretty funny. It doesn't look like they really changed anything that much besides the few stuff that they added, which actually I thought was a really good idea. I did like that they did explain what happened to Rogue after X-Men: The Last Stand. I can't believe I'm even mentioning that movie. But there's a deleted scene in that movie where it shows that Rogue didn't get the cure, but in the theatrical cut that we got, she did get the cure. And so, you know, of course, they do actually a lot of other scenes, like it shows Hank having a one-on-one time with Wolverine, and I thought this was pretty dang funny. He comes in and he's knocking on the door, and I was like, please tell me no smoking in the mansion, because that would just be a really funny line, because that was from the second film. And he has a one-on-one talk with Wolverine. He's like, you know those things are going to give you cancer, right? And Wolverine just looks at him like, son, I don't give a crap. And then he brings up like a lot of the whole future thing, like, you know, like, I don't know what you're allowed to say or what you're not allowed to say, but do I make it? And Wolverine just flat out says, no. You know, in the future, do I make it? No. And I was like, that's pretty funny. But then he's like, hey, kid, that's just the future I came from. And so a lot of these little hints to other things, a lot of this extra content, it is not a waste of money. I'm glad I honestly picked this up. X-Men Days of Future Past is such a good film. It's either this or First Class is my favorite X-Men film. It's a tie between those two. And I'm really excited for X-Men Apocalypse. I really am excited for that. I think Apocalypse might be their most dangerous villain. I'm not too sure about that. He might be, he might not be, I don't know. But, another scene that they showed at the end of the credits, before the Apocalypse clip, they showed that they put Trask in the same prison that they put Magneto in, and he's just laying there like this, with long hair and a long beard, and he's just looking up. And I was like, that is freaking funny. But yeah, I strongly suggest, if you are a big X-Men fan, and if you want to know some of the things that they left out and maybe possible plot holes that you found, go pick up X-Men Days of Future Past Rogue Cut. You will not be disappointed. It does answer a lot of the questions that they have. Like how they say, or how they show, X-Men Days of Future Past practically fixed everything that X-Men The Last Stand screwed up. Pretty much. And, it has the same ending with Logan being taken up by Mystique, who is in the form of Colonel William Stryker. And then, Logan's wandering around the mansion, seeing everyone, and even seeing Jean, and talking to Professor Xavier about the promise that he kept. And, that's how the movie ends. The movie ends the same way that it did in theaters, and I wasn't disappointed with the ending. But, guys, put in the comments below, have you seen X-Men Days of Future Class Rogue Cut? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Do you think that they answered everything? Do you think they didn't answer quite everything? I really want to know. Put in the comments below, hit that like button, share my channel. Guys, once again, I want to thank you all for watching this video. For those who take your time out of your day to watch my videos, I'm glad that I entertain you. I'm glad that you like the things that I do, and I'm going to keep making more videos for you. Stay tuned, where I will be reviewing another comic book film that actually was one of my favorites in 2004. Guys, have a good day.